Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome back to another glorious episode of Gamestack Podcast, episode 28, Nuff said. I am your host, Venertron, and joining me this evening is the beautiful Shalene.
Hello, hello.
And also the wonderful Rick.
Hey, how's it going?
How you guys doing?
Well,
It's been a week.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh boy. I woke up
Today was a disaster. It was a disaster, Bender. It was bad.
Well, you're welcome to the best corner of the internet on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I mean, Eastern Standard Time. I woke up to a foot of snow, and
Nice.
I've got a Mini, and I don't have winter tires on it yet. And I drove about a block from my house, and then I turned around and went, nope. And went right back home. Missed 2 meetings. It was bad. But I'm here now with you fine people.
Yeah, that was my Friday of I was out driving in the snowstorm because the entire Northeast was hit by a winter storm on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I started my journey at 11:30 in the morning, got to work at 1. They're like, "Hey, we don't need you. You can go home now."
Oh my God.
And then I left and got home at like 3 p.m. And then this morning, someone showed me a map of all the accidents in Pennsylvania, and it was like, it was bad.
Oh,
I
that's
can't believe
brutal.
I went out in that at all.
Goodness. Guys, do we have anything to mention before we begin today's show?
Not that I can think of.
Well, before we actually start the show, welcome to everybody coming into our chat. Cyber Red Panda, Gerfuffle, Archin, our lovely moderators
Our
extraordinaire.
lover.
Archin, I love her. Guys, if you're watching live, don't forget to host us right here on Twitch. It helps us get the stream out there in the Twitch community. Tell your friends about the show. Retweet the tweet that we send out moments before we go live. And if you're listening post-show, we hope that you can join us live eventually. If you ever get the chance, just come on over to twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. We also have some 5-star review shout-outs. Shalene, did you want to go through those?
I do. Well, Vendor, we did not have any new 5-star reviews this fortnight, but I would like to give a special shout out to the listeners out there who have made us the number 10 video game podcast in Turkmenistan for 6 weeks running.
Wow.
We are also doing really well in Uzbekistan. So
Nice.
shout out to our listeners there as well. If you are one of the Turkmenistan or Uzbekistan listeners, let us know. Drop us an email.
That would be actually be really that'd be pretty awesome. Yeah. Info at WeJustLoveGames.com.
Number 10 in Turkmenistan. Number 10.
That's funny.
Well, I'm sure that they are avid listeners. It's probably like 2 people. 2 very devoted people.
No.
Well, we've got all kinds of stuff coming down the pipeline on the show notes today. We've got news. We've got our lovely and much anticipated GameStock segment. We've got gameplay. We're
Is it
also...
anticipated?
Oh, yes. Everybody loves the GameStock. We've also got a new challenge since Nania submitted a challenge for the last one, so we've got a new idea for you. We've also got a schwack load of listener emails as well. A schwack load. What have you never heard?
Is that metric? Is that metric system?
Yeah, 1 schwack, 1 whole schwack. Oh my gosh, you
It's
guys, it's just putting me through the ringer tonight.
Instead of a bushel, it's a bushwhack.
It's a yeah. Let's just head into the news. What happened in the world of news this week, Rick?
Well, first and foremost, I think all of us here would like to honor a little bit Stan Lee, who passed away at 95.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I mean, come on, one of the most well-known celebrities, kind of in the United States and worldwide, and no controversy really with this guy, not really. And he's 95, and he it didn't come out that he's like, well, I did kill a couple kids. It never happened. Like that. So,
Oh my gosh.
just
Stan Lee was a stand-up guy.
He was. And just Daredevil, the Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, the Avengers, Nightcat, Mighty Thor, Silver Surfer. I mean, just to name like a couple of the things that he's done, and the legacy of all the cameos that he's provided us. I mean, to think that they filmed all of those movies just to get a cameo for him, you know? But that's what he was. That's what he would say, and like his comedy was really funny too. He'd be like, "It's a pleasure to meet me," you know. So, and if you're not too familiar with Stan Lee, I would check out 2 different interviews he did on the Nerdist podcast or the ID10T podcast. Really great, just him kind of reflecting on his life and that sort of thing. So yeah, big R.I.P. to Stan Lee, man.
You know, guys, I was reading a little bit about him the other day, and Marvel Comics was actually a family-owned business that he sort of worked up the rungs in the ladder to the top.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's really interesting to see such a large business come to fruition like that. I guess that's how it works, obviously, but he was there from like its inception, you know? So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and he was. Do you two even watch Marvel superhero movies at all, or do you?
I've watched some of them, but I'm way behind. I'm enough behind in Marvel movies that like I'm a little reluctant to catch up. Like I don't really know where to start now.
Well,
that is true.
I don't know. For me, I feel like once you've seen the first 5, you've seen them all. But so yeah, not a huge Marvel fan, but.
Gotcha. But yeah, so R.I.P. Stan Lee. You left us a crazy legacy, even though you can't hear me right now. Anyway.
Or maybe he can.
Ooh.
Well, it's not like he would have heard us anyway. I doubt Stan Lee was
he was
one of our listeners.
He was that guy in Uzbekistan.
I wish I could remember who we said our avid listeners were sometimes on our old show, because they were funny. Anyway, let's get on to specific gaming news. Actually, all of the 2018 Game Awards nominees are out, and it's a thing. So clearly, the 2 front runners are. Can you guys guess the 2 front runners for Game of the Year?
God of War.
Well, that's one of them.
Probably Fortnite.
No, it's actually Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, that's in like every damn category.
So I know. So real quick, the nominees for Game of the Year, let's see if you guys agree. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, which I never actually heard of. I just think of Celeste Pizza.
Yeah, Celeste is like a 2D platformer.
And that is nominee for Game of the Year?
Brutally hard. I haven't played it, but that's what I hear. God
of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Monster Hunter: World. I hate that name, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are the nominees for Game of the Year.
But single player is dead, though.
You're right. Gosh, I hate that name. Monster Hunter: World. Blech.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, World is not a world I want to visit.
Oh man, it's bad, you guys.
No, it's just So yeah, that's our nominees for Game of the Year. If I had to pick, I would, since I only played one on this list, it would have to be Red Dead Redemption 2 as my goatee.
It's all about God of War. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at my bad joke. It's all about God of War.
Oh no.
Did you? What about you, Vendor?
To be honest, I would probably vote Red Dead, but only because it looks amazing. I haven't played any of those games, so I'm not qualified to give an opinion whatsoever.
I would have surprised you weren't going for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because that was Ubisoft Quebec. So
yeah, Quebecois. No, they're separatists. They're not actually Canadian. They just like to pretend to be Canadian. I hope nobody in the chat is from Quebec.
I was gonna say.
There go all our Quebec listeners.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you guys saw the meme floating around where the word of the year is boy, and from God of War going boy, and Red Dead Redemption's boy. So yeah, that was If that was a category for nominees, those would be the only two nominees and winners. So, but best ongoing game, which I didn't even realize was a category. There's a couple of nominees here too. Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I've got a feeling that Rainbow Six Siege is going to take this category simply because who knew that it would still be going on at this point in time? I'm surprised Overwatch is on there.
Well, my pick is The Division.
But that's not on there.
Can we
I wouldn't
just...
be surprised to see No Man's Sky take this one as
That-
like the dark horse.
Well, it's like the David and Goliath story. Only I really don't think there's a Goliath here.
yeah. You know, I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed that Sea of Thieves isn't on the list.
Well, it's not had a chance to really be an ongoing thing. It kind of came
It's
out.
true.
But so did Fortnite. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think the big contenders are No Man's Sky and Rainbow Six Siege, and Destiny 2 because
I secretly like.
that
Yeah,
game.
I secretly want No Man's Sky to win just because they're such an underdog now.
It's a comeback kid story.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone likes a good comeback kid. Good song too. So yeah, I'm liking some of these nominees already. Best game direction. Our nominees are A Way Out, Detroit: Become Human, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, and again Red Dead Redemption 2.
If Detroit doesn't win this one, they got robbed.
Ew.
Like,
See,
it was my favorite game so far this year, but I know in a lot of categories it's not really a competitor. But in game direction, I think it's Detroit all the way.
Wow, that
okay.
is really something.
What is game direction? I wonder.
Direction, like it's the direction of the game. Actually.
Like the story and everything.
It's a little of everything. It's like the presentation, the the
I would have to-
direction. Like a movie is directed,
Okay.
the game is directed.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting battle. I mean, Detroit: Become Human is basically a movie.
The cutscenes though, Shalene, you were saying they're just like
It's so good. It's so good.
mhm.
We need to do some Detroit streams after we're done with the council.
The council. I am so excited.
I'm actually
play the
intrigued by
council.
this time.
Oh,
I
it's so
kinda
good.
want to play it too. It's not so what's that other one?
I think you're looking for boring.
Yeah. No, that wasn't it. It feels more like something I would like rather than playing as a teen.
Well, it's got a lot of RPG elements. You know, it's not really just dialogue choices and picking stuff up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, best narrative. We have their nominees, 5 of them. Like most of these, all of these categories actually. Not all of them. Detroit: Become Human, which I think that one's probably going to take that. God of War, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, Marvel's Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2 for best narrative. I don't think Red Dead Redemption 2 is gonna. I don't see that being a good, I mean, it's good, but it's nothing groundbreaking. It's
Right.
a Rockstar narrative.
Detroit was my favorite game this year. I've said that already in this podcast, but I don't think it deserves to win a prize for best narrative because there was a lot of really cliched storytelling and a lot of really predictable storytelling. The narrative itself is not what makes the game so special. So I think my vote would go to God of War for this one.
Nice. I mean, that's my inclination. Life is Strange is too. I don't want to say it's, well, I mean, it literally sounds like someone who's not American writing what they think an American teen would be. And it just doesn't work.
Well, and we haven't had enough story yet to award it a prize for story.
Yeah, it's true. It is.
You know what? Sorry, go ahead, man.
It is a little disheartening. Some of the voice actors in the council are a little bit, too modern.
Super American for being a French guy.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 is only on here because of the content of the narrative.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They did take some bold bold choices in the direction they took that.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys about this afterwards, but I had this like epiphany this morning at 3 a.m. listening to Howard Stern of where we are in the context of like storyline and that kind of stuff being put into film and TV and stuff. We're at a very cool time, and I think that's why it's here, because it kind of tries to tackle those harder kind of more sensitive issues. I think that's there. So anyway, moving on. Best art direction. Our 5 nominees are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Boy, God of War, Octopath Traveler, never heard of that one, the Boy, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Return of Obra Dinn.
That game looks
Life goes on.
cool.
What, Shalene?
That game looks really cool, The Return of the Obra Dinn.
I don't even know what it is.
It's kind of an adventure game, but it's got this really cool black and white. It's got a really unique artistic, aesthetic. Looks really cool. Lots of puzzles. It looks like a Shalene game.
Return of Gunga Din. Oh, I see. Yeah, that does look pretty cool. Interesting. But yeah, so was Cuphead 2017?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, oh, why it's not here. Nobody talks about that game anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, that really was a short-lived.
Best art direction. Why
And like, I mean, they came in, they won all the awards, and then they left
with their piles of money.
with their piles of money.
Red Dead is on art direction. It looks gorgeous, but it's not. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
So,
What?
how about we talk about some Black Friday deals?
Oh, I've got more games. Oh, that's a lot. It's a long list.
It's yeah.
I didn't think it was that long.
Okay, let's just punch
Oh,
through
that's
it.
an
Just
extremely long list.
okay, go.
No, well, no, I didn't
Let's
realize.
pick up at least 1 or 2 more categories.
Yeah.
Let's take best score, and then maybe
That's what
audio, and then indie game.
Yeah, that's what I was That's what I was thinking. So, okay, best score nominees: Celeste, Pizzas, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Nino Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Which honestly doesn't even have a lot of music in it. It's pretty quiet most of the time. Music that's in it is good, but
My vote is for Detroit Become Human, which actually was scored by 3 different people for the 3 different characters, and each score is fantastic.
That's weird. I don't see PUBG on that list.
I know, right?
Winner, chicken dinner.
Any input here, vendor?
To be honest, I just hope that Red Dead doesn't win this category.
Really?
That's my input.
Okay.
I just feel there's too much dominance with AAA games,
There is,
especially when it
Music
comes to
for
the
Red Dead,
awards.
Good. I think it's good.
I'm sure it is great.
Yeah.
But let the little
God of
guys
War music
take home
is
the
good
bacon.
too, but it's like really good actually. But I can't help but compare it in my head to the sound from Hellblade, and you can't compete with that.
Oh man, so good.
So
Yeah, Red Dead is a very groundbreaking game, but some of the stuff that it's nominated for is a stretch, to say the least. So let's go on to audio design. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Which I get the Red Dead Redemption 2 one. That's a bit more, that one makes more sense there. But it's interesting. I don't know. I haven't played my Forza or Call of Duty or any of those except for Red Dead.
Shalene,
Yeah.
you played some God of War.
I played all of God of War, and it was glorious, and I would vote for it for lots of categories, probably including this one.
So best independent game. The nominees are Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger.
I haven't played any of them. Oh my goodness. I feel like such a failure.
We have to get better at this whole being a general gaming podcast.
Yeah, but the points don't matter, you guys.
Man, there's a lot. I have to go through this list at some point because it'd be interesting to see that. So awesome.
Yeah, I usually play a ton of indies, but I haven't played any of these.
We're going to have to do our own game awards.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we'll do the Stack Awards again.
the 2018 Stack Awards, of course.
Last year, PUBG swept the
Swept
the
it.
awards.
Just took the chicken.
It did. So anyway, If you're interested on more of those Game Award nominees, GameSpot has a great article out there, so you can check that out. But moving on, Black Friday is coming fast upon us, and there's a couple of deals starting to trickle out, and one of them that I have to talk about tonight is Walmart. Here's some Walmart Black Friday live sales. I guess they're now.
Let me just hold on. I just got to get my credit card.
What did I say this at the beginning of the month? It's no save November.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So live right now, you can get 12 months of PlayStation Plus for $39.99. But wait, there's more. You can get a Samsung 55-inch 4K smart TV for $398.
What?
That's not bad at all.
You know
It's
what?
Samsung.
I would like to buy a bigger TV.
How big's yours?
Like 24 inches, maybe.
Yeah, you need a bigger TV.
Guys, I might go and buy a new TV.
Yeah, but
we
for
should
you, I
all
think
buy a
it'd be
TV.
like $500.
Yeah, your 300 is my 500.
That's
So.
true. But if you want a bigger TV, Shalene, live right now, you can get an 82-inch Samsung at Walmart for $2,500.
82 inches? Like, that wouldn't even fit in my house.
That's like Ron Jeremy. That's the Ron Jeremy line.
My goodness.
So if you want the what is it, the Dirk Diggalo model, 75 inches, that's $1,500. And then it's 60. They just go down from there, obviously, with the price and stuff. But 55-inch Samsung, whatever it is $747. Those are true HDR 4K TVs, by the way, not just 4K. So if you're into that sort of thing, boom, Walmart's got the hookup for your TV needs. Let's see, Red Dead Redemption 2 and a $10 Xbox gift card could be yours for $59.89. And the game's worth it, if you ask me. Spending $60. Actually, technically $50. So you can get a Dell G3 gaming laptop for $800. That's an iCore or Intel Core i7 with GeForce GTX 1050 4 gig card and a bunch of other goodies. And that's not a bad price either.
Better than my desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, better than my desktop too. Back on the Stan Lee Spider-Man thing, you can get the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 bundle, 1 terabyte for $199 right now. And that's a pretty good game, I've heard. Xbox One X's are listed for $399. So get you one of those. A Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle for Switch, $299. And so forth. Actually, the Pac-Man Arcade 1-Up cabinet is a Walmart exclusive. That's $250.
So which TV was it that you said? Was
You're TV shopping now. I see your shared screen. You're literally TV shopping on the show.
No,
Nice.
I'm curious to see how much it is here. It was a Samsung, right? You said it was a Samsung?
55-inch 4K smart TV.
Oh my god. They've got a 43-inch here for $500.
There you go. See?
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a little closer to what I would be willing
sizes.
to have in my house.
You can get the limited edition Steelbook for Red Dead Redemption 2. That's going to be a Walmart exclusive.
Oh, you mean this Red Dead Redemption Steelbook?
Yeah, that one. The one that's a Walmart exclusive.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That'll be available at Walmart this Black Friday. The Fallout 76 limited edition Steelbook will also be a Walmart
you mean this Steelbook?
Oh my god, Shalene. You're out of control.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
For our audio listeners, she's waving the is it T51?
Uh-huh.
It's the T51 power armor helmet.
Why don't you put it on and talk through it?
I told her she should start the show with it on.
Okay, but I don't know if it'll go over my headset here, so I probably won't. There's a switch in here. Hold on.
Just take your headset off for a second.
Okay, it's gonna mess up my hair.
Oh, that's just
Say bad things about her.
Oh, that's so good.
The glasses come off.
Oh, that's great. Can you just do the whole show with that helmet on now? That's fantastic. Meanwhile, I'm still shopping for TVs.
This is the worst idea we've ever had. The light is functional.
Dude, wait a sec. Wait a minute.
So there's like a There's like a voice synthesizer.
No, it's not even a synthesizer. I'll tell you what it is. Shalene, tell me if this is true or not. You know the plastic megaphone with the spring in it that you would talk into?
Yes.
Is that what's in that thing?
Probably.
Stupid. It's not even a voice vocoder. It's just this spring reverb.
Yeah, I think that's it.
They just took the
There's never. Where's the trash?
plastic-
I need the trash fire GIF. Where's the trash fire GIF?
No. They took the freaking.
This is what it looks like inside.
It's just the metal plate. That's funny. Oh, maybe it is a vocoder in there. Is it
Oh,
electronic?
goodness.
Yeah, it has 3 batteries, 3
Oh,
AAA.
okay. Well, maybe it is electronic.
Mhm.
But still, I thought they just took like the spring from like that microphone and like shoved it in there. Anyway, there's a ton of Black Friday deals right now at Walmart. Some are live, some are not. There's a bunch of games available for $35. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I'll touch them real quick. The Assassin's Creed Odyssey for PlayStation 4 is going to be like $35. Sea of Thieves, Elder Scrolls Skyrim for Switch, minus it still being broken. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Call of Duty Blops 4, all those are going to be $35, including a whole bunch more. So
Nice.
get your credit cards out and then your backup credit cards out and head to Walmart this Black Friday season for a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, there's also going to be $25 games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the Xbox One,
Mhm.
$25. And Big Buck Hunter Arcade, $25. There you go.
One of
Anyway,
those games is totally worth it.
You know, the funny thing is like Black Friday in Canada really isn't that big of a deal. Not like it is in the States, like people lining up for hours and
oh,
stuff.
it's huge, man.
Here, it's not a big deal. Like people will peruse, a website, maybe order something, but generally for us, it's Boxing Day.
Yeah, we don't really celebrate that down here.
Your
I
Black
honestly
Friday is our Boxing Day.
Mhm. I thought it had something to do with fighting, but no, it's not.
Nope.
So I have a bit of news that's going to actually affect the stocks, I think, the Gamestack segment. Sony is skipping E3 this year.
Heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
I was surprised by this.
Once I started reading into it, it didn't surprise me. Because there's a whole bunch of people that don't do E3 anymore.
Tell me more.
So, Electronic Arts holds its own event now in Hollywood leading up to E3.
Mhm.
BE3 happens separate from E3. Last year, Microsoft rented out a theater in LA for their own convention, and Nintendo spent 5 years doing their own pre-recorded video thing. And now Sony's like, we peace out too. And I think that they're not even doing PSX. They
skipped
they're not.
PSX
Yeah.
this year.
Wow, what's going on with E3?
So I've heard a few things saying that they've actually said they've got nothing to show, which doesn't make much sense. And then what's going to happen with E3? I made the joke in our show notes that, guys, maybe we'll get invited to E3 this year since it'll just be crickets.
We're bringing a show live to you from this empty convention center in the Upper West Side of San Francisco.
So, first of all, what does this say like for the future of E3? Because this is bigger than Sony. Sony's going to do its own thing at some point. They've been putting out very, very strong single player and exclusives for their platform, destroying Xbox in my opinion. And they're like, hey, we're not going to do E3. What does this say about E3? And is this a turning point for gaming at large? Because E3 was like, that's the Woodstock of gaming. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I think it says that Sony doesn't want to share the spotlight anymore.
But all these other companies
they want to control. They want to control the conversation around their product, and they don't need to share, the front page of IGN/Kotaku/ whatever gaming website is your choice. Gamestack podcast.
but breaking news late. That's us. That should be our motto. We're bi-weekly.
I'm just gonna write that down.
But no, my thought process is all these other companies have been kind of going their own way with it, it's just weird. It's different. I never, E3 was something I always look forward to every single year to see what, game conventions are coming out. They all kind of do their conventions around E3. E3 is the black hole of which the other things orbit.
Well,
Right.
if E3 dies, we just love games could just take the slot and we can call it We3.
That's funny. That's a good one.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. There's going to be a lot of this kind of philosophical insight in this new segment coming up too. So
Well, it kind of
this just starts off.
it pains me because I feel like they're taking away from the community-based approach to games. I mean, the whole idea for E3 was to bring people together and bring companies together and just, have a good time. And I mean, Shalene, you were there. You could speak to what it is like, what the atmosphere, the environment is like.
It was very charged for sure. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
It was like, it was like Christmas. It was like Christmas with hundreds of people. It was really cool.
Do you guys think that maybe TwitchCon is kind of stealing the spotlight?
No.
I don't know. I don't hear a lot of people talking about TwitchCon.
The only reason I ask is because Bethesda was there this year, as was the whole ARC team and some other bigger video game names. So
It was a lovely community-focused event, but they weren't making announcements at TwitchCon.
true.
Yeah, Vendor, I think you're right. I think this shows that more, companies are doing their own thing. Therefore, it's kind of going to be working together is going to be less of a priority, I think.
Yeah, I worry about that.
Me too. I mean, with crossplay and that sort of thing. So anyway, let us know what you think in the chat room, because I know that we all like to watch E3 and stuff together, and it's changing. So we just have to see what it's going to change into. And speaking of change, a lot of game companies are shifting. Things are moving around. And two game companies that we know and some of us love, Obsidian and inXile. Obsidian, of course, did Fallout New Vegas, and inXile did Wasteland. They've been purchased by Microsoft at this point. So Microsoft has been pushing this bridge between their Xbox and PC with crossplay. Game Pass is coming to PC at some point. And they just brought on two huge, well, I wouldn't say huge, but they just brought on two RPG makers who make very good quality games into their fold. And both of those games have had financial trouble in the past. As we know, the Pillars of Autumn or Pillars of Eternity 2 didn't really do as well as they'd hoped. And, a lot of crowdfunding and that sort of thing. So now they've got funding. Woohoo. Great for the people who work there. But what does this mean for us is, PC gamers and these guys making, for the most part, exclusive PC games. And we know the pedigree that they can do. Now they've got the funding of Microsoft. If Microsoft doesn't shuffle around too many project leads, they might come out with some cool stuff. Maybe spiritual successor to New Vegas. Who knows?
There's only so much change management you can do.
I think this is a great thing for RPG fans. I think that giving these companies, Microsoft budget and some job security is only a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my dearest hope is that they'll give Fable to Obsidian. I think that would be amazing.
I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah, that's my dearest hope. But I think it's definitely a good thing, not only for these companies, but for the gamers as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that they got some financial backing. I know that we spoke with Josh Sawyer from Obsidian, and very wonderful man who's very passionate about making video games, and glad to see that Obsidian, his company, well, not his company per se, but I'm glad to see that they've got some financial backing. Is he still with Obsidian? I'm pretty sure he is.
Yes, he is.
As far as I know, yeah.
So that's good that they've got funding there. I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, literally last E3 was just Microsoft saying like they went Oprah for game companies, kind of, but in the reverse way. Instead of you get a game company, it's we get a game company, and we get another one.
The thing is, like this year, I mean, this generation, Sony has destroyed Microsoft when it comes to exclusives. Sony has had incredible exclusive games, and Microsoft has had Cuphead, and
And they
You know,
almost had Star Wars. Or
and Sea of Thieves. Very few exclusives. Very
Yeah.
few exclusives.
And they're nowhere matching to PlayStation.
But next generation, Microsoft is going to bring it. So I'm really interested to see. I'm hoping that this Sony pulling back from E3 doesn't indicate that they are going to be, the arrogant Sony that we saw in the post PS2 world. The $599 for a PS3 Sony. I hope that they don't get complacent with their success. That's what I see happening over and over. Sony crushed it with PS2 and then they got complacent, and Microsoft crushed it with the 360 and then they got complacent, and now of course Sony is dominating the marketplace. So I'm interested to see what the next generation of consoles will bring.
Nintendo Switch dominates the ring, and we're like, huh? No, I mean, if that maybe this means a new generation for Xbox games. Who knows? But yeah, you're right. I wonder if it's like Sony's like, done. We did it, guys.
Exactly.
So, hopefully it's not that.
well, Sony is always.
Justin Chow mentions Nintendo crushed it with the Wii, and then we got the Wii U.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't. I cannot tell you when I was working at Target and the Wii was out how many oh brother were at that moments. Hi, I'm looking for the Wii. Do you have that Wii Sports? It's like, sure, man. We just can't keep that on our shelves. So it's I mean, that thing flew off the shelves, and the Wii U was like, skip it.
Yeah. Because
So,
everybody was still playing with their Wii.
yes. So.
Well, at least I like Super Mario World. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
So good.
But moving
I
on.
want to play some Nintendo games now.
Yeah,
Well,
I know, right?
See ya. There was this one like puzzle pirate game. I forget what it was, but it was really good.
Zack and Wiki?
Yes, Zack and Wiki. That was it. Me and my wife would play that a lot.
Sony has always been this sort of transient company, in my opinion, when it comes to games. Because when their console first came out, it was more of a family sort of thing, in that you could play games on it, but you could also watch movies. And Microsoft has always been this. Xbox has been their staple, reliable system that people buy for gaming. And then the PS1, well, that was more gaming, but the PS2 was still no DVD. PS3 was DVD and games, which really changed it.
Well, the PlayStation 2 had DVDs, but that
PS3 had Blu-rays.
Blu-rays, that's what it was, yeah.
I mean, the Xbox and the PlayStation 2 were still in that era of game consoles were game consoles. And that's why there was so much, there was such a battle between the two, like Halo and then, Metal Gear Solid and Killzone and things like that between the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. It was like in that, because you're coming out of the PlayStation 1 Nintendo 64 competition and, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, between the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, when they kind of turned into like Roku boxes that happen to have game consoles built down, around them, everything changed at that point.
Yeah.
And game consoles for a while there. And I think the PlayStation 3 was advertised as, you're right, as this family, everyone gather around the PlayStation 3 to watch the Blu-ray DVD Blu-ray DVD, the Blu-ray, and then afterwards the kids can play some games.
Did you tape my show, Rick? Did you tape it?
And then Xbox was like, yeah, sure, you can watch DVDs, or you could kick ass playing our game system. So
I just like the point I'm trying to make is that Microsoft has always maintained that sort of focus on games specifically. And so I wonder,
they tried to make it more of a media machine with the Xbox One, and that was disastrous.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, I don't think that they really need to,
Hey guys, what if it isn't the exclusivity of titles, but sheerly how they've been marketed? So you said the Xbox One X or the Xbox One was disastrous when its marketing campaign was pushed towards a media box. And look what happened with PlayStation 3 when it was pushed as a media box. PlayStation 2 was not pushed as a media box, nor has PlayStation 4 been.
I don't know. I
done
feel like
that
a
way.
lot of people bought the PS2 because it played DVDs.
A lot of people bought the PlayStation 2 because of the sick games that it had.
Oh man, Grand Theft Auto, so
You bet.
good. I'll honestly admit that, I mean, part of the reason why I chose PlayStation over Xbox was the ability to play all of my Blu-rays and DVDs. Now they're sitting in a giant box, or shall I say stack, and I use Netflix, and the consoles have kind of evolved. You know, that's really smart of them, actually, by the way.
Oh,
In that they've changed the UI so that it's more of a smart console per se, and that people don't actually have to, you know, insert a DVD or even a game for that matter. So
Yeah.
I wonder if games. I wonder if games will go away from disc.
Oh gosh, yes, that's.
I heard a rumor today that Microsoft is planning for the next generation a
Discless.
Xbox without a disc drive.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're basically buying a streaming device.
Oh yeah, basically. Well, that can hold games on its hard drive.
It's your gateway to access. That's all it is.
All it is, that next generation is going to be a gateway to a PC. That's it. It's, and then like, you know, I can't think of it. Gabe from Valve is going to be like, I told you with the Steam machine. And it's because that's pretty much what everything's going to be.
I wanted the Steam machines to be.
I know. Me too.
I know.
I was so sad.
Let's move
Anyways.
on because we've digressed. Because we gotta
Digress us.
I
I don't believe it.
know that this is not that Fallout show, but
But who cares?
who cares? It's our show, damn it. And there's been a lot of stuff floating around about Fallout 76 since its initial launch, and the lack of the day one patch for PC and other things. And I've, you know, been in some discussions on Reddit, and there's been a lot of different things going around. And one of the things that Bethesda's getting knocked for heavily is its engine. And a lot of people have a lot of problems with this engine being outdated and archaic and problematic. And actually, if you dig deep enough, you can find references in the code in Fallout 4 that reference Morrowind. So
Wow.
So did they literally just copy and paste?
yes, it's you just take assets over and then either write them out, like comment it out in the code line, but it's still there. It still takes up small
Well,
amounts
that
of
would explain why it's so buggy still.
Yeah, so you know, this engine has been utilized since the days of yore. I mean, Morrowind was not the creation engine; it was something else. But the creation engine was built on the foundation of that engine, and so it continues on in Fallout 76. There's notable issues like no FOV slider, motion blur not being adjustable for the most part unless you go into the INI file and fiddle with it. And a lot of times this can create a problematic user experience if you have problems with motion sickness. The FOV slider is very important. And other such issues. But, you know, there's articles out there like Forbes, weirdly enough, putting out Fallout 76 shows Bethesda's engine has gone from meme to liability, and it talks about all of the issues inherent in the game's engine, like you know, like we mentioned, the glitches and just various issues. But then Kotaku puts out an article talking about how the Bethesda controversy over the game engine is misguided. And I kind of happen to side with Kotaku in this, not because I'm a Bethesda fan, because the word engine is kind of convoluted term. Engine's it's a bunch of different aspects. It's the lighting, it's the graphic system, you know, it's a whole bunch of different things. So to say like the engine, you're kind of talking about a bunch of different stuff. What I wanted to point out, though, is that the creation engine is old. It is a bit archaic. It has signs of Skyrim all through it. Literally, it does. And they're using it for Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. And
I'm sure there's a dead horse around here that Bethesda is beating on.
either they're going to overhaul it. So they were quoted in saying, for Fallout 76, we've changed a lot. The game uses a new renderer and a new lighting system and a new system for the landscape generation. For Starfield, even more of it changes, and for the Elder Scrolls 6, out there on the horizon, even more. We like our editor. It allows us to create worlds really fast, and the modders know it really well. There's some elementary ways we create our games, and that will continue because that lets us be efficient, and we think it works best. And I can't figure out if that's just saying, we just lazy, or what, or if they're genuinely like, we just know it like the back of our hand. And there is something to be said for that.
Mm-hmm.
They know their engine.
Well, if they knew it, there wouldn't be as many bugs as there is.
Well, Fallout 76 is kind of an outlier because it's such a experiment of a game for this engine to handle. I mean, again, we talked about this before, where they took two engines and kind of made a baby with it. And, you know.
See, but like that's the thing. Like Jess and I were talking about this the other day, and what they have really done well is the ability to manage the data and the servers. And I think what Bethesda is doing is what we see with Astroneer and Sea of Thieves, in that they have X amount of servers and that you kind of slip in and out of each server so that they all maintain the same load and that you don't have those server crashes.
Yep.
That I think is really great. But that doesn't really contribute to the bugs that I'm experiencing playing Fallout 76, does it? Because that's just game.
Yes. I mean, and you can also go back to saying that they kind of taken a lazy approach to these Skyrim on the Switch, because there's still bugs there that have been fixed on other platforms, but they're just there still. Nobody's ever bothered to patch it out. So
like some people say, you know, like, well, I mean, that's why they beta tested it, and you can't expect them to figure it all out by release date when it's only a week after the beta test. But in reality, like, they should have been testing this.
Don't even get me started on
They should have been
yeah.
testing this 6 months ago.
We're beta testing it now. So this kind of leads into it, and we didn't really get a chance to talk about this on 76.
But this applies to all games. It applies to all games.
Right. But, you know, the conversations that I've been having with people, it kind of led me to, in my head, think, okay, so how do you qualify when a game is good? Because Fallout 76, you know, there's a lot of bad. And, you know, the next that Fallout show, we're going to get it. We're going to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of the game. And it's definitely prettier than other Fallout games, but it does look dated. I mean, I was looking at the login screen, and the leaves kind of look like paper.
I know, they're so flat.
It's
all
like
the vegetation is so flat.
Some of the textures are pretty. They don't have any depth or anything.
And then I play Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm like, the horse splits the weeds as I walk through. The weeds have physics, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's that, but I'm genuinely enjoying the game for the content and the way that it plays, and it feels okay, and it feels good, and it's a new Fallout world, and I'm enjoying the experiences I have with people online. But the technical side of it is kind of a joke. So how can you say a game is good if, like, one side is completely unbalanced? Like, you know, I logged in and my camp was completely gone, and again, they don't bother telling you how to blueprint things. So at a component level, my camp was stored in my camp. And so, I mean, I'm not going to rebuild based off component level. So I just salvaged everything and I lost my house. And so it was a glitch that is there. For instance, the day one patch that never came for PC. I still have, like, you know, if you're over encumbered and die, you glitch out, you have to exit and re-enter. And so, you know, and then Vendor, you posted in Discord, Bethesda has, posted their upcoming features and fixes. So I want to touch on this real quick, because this is not just about Fallout 76. This is about just gaming companies in general. And this will lead into a discussion topic I have that I want to talk about.
Cool.
So Bethesda popped up some of the upcoming things. Granted, this is November. Okay. Let's all keep this in mind. You know, so there's a November 19th patch. So help me understand this here. The next update will focus primarily on the game performance and stability on all platforms, but it will also come with a list of fixes to quests, UI, camps, and more. Patch notes will be available early this week. This update will be large compared to what we expect for patches going forward. Regular updates will always vary in size, but future updates will be much smaller in comparison. So November 19th, get ready for a whammy. I have a feeling the November 19 patch should have been the day one patch. But anyway.
Well, here's the thing, right? You don't write a letter to your customers saying, forgive us through the beta and stick with us. It's going to be buggy. Don't worry about it. That's the whole point of a beta. And then release a game that is still the same bugginess as when you played the beta. Like, you just don't do that. That's just bad business practice.
And
I did not pay $109 to play the game on official release with the same bugs that were in the beta.
And then
now I have a right to complain.
Yeah, and that was my whole point. And then so they get into, right under the November 19th patch, they talk about stash limit increase, right? And then, here we go. This is great. We hear you loud and clear. Awesome. They heard us. They go on to say that the reason it's there, and we knew this, is for technical reasons. All the systems have to track all these individual items. So we get it. Makes sense why there's a stash limit. But they say, we believe we have some ideas both in the short and long term that will address the size without risking stability. But this is one we need to take our time on to make sure it's done right. So basically they're saying we're working on it. Push to talk for PC. We'll get included in an update in the next few weeks. Ultra wide support for PC will be coming soon, and FOV slider also will be soon. So they talk about a November 19th patch, and then all these other things like soon, but they're before the end of the year. So it's just like December 31st, because we know how the beta worked out.
Soon is a fancy way of saying it may or may not happen.
And so this leads me into the next discussion. I started a discussion on the Fallout subreddit, basically saying, let's give Bethesda some time. They said, this is not a finished game upon release. We want feedback. We want you guys to play it. We need to know how to fix it. We want to make it the game you want based off the game we loved to make, And someone in the, comment section of that subreddit went, why then are we paying the full price for a game if it's not the full game and they've told it to us? And it made me think that games nowadays are investments in companies. That's what this is. They're asking us, hey, spend $60, spend $109 and invest in us and trust us that we're going to supply future updates and fix all these bugs. And then when you have letters like this, like, we'll get to it soon, and it's like, dude, I bought 2 Tricentennial copies, which, in the grand scheme of things, $200, not a lot of money, but still, that's a lot of money for me. And then you're just like, yeah, the bugs you're experiencing, soon they'll be fixed.
Yeah, it's nothing short of a GoFundMe.
Yeah, and so I wanted to talk to you guys. Now, a lot of times we've all seen the memes online where it's like, here's the stack of games that I've purchased and never completed. So like, if we have that, there's a little room for us to talk about complaining about games that, are like this because of all the games we've bought and never played. So, but
I don't know if that's a great analogy, because nobody is paying us to finish those games.
That's true. But on the whole, what do you guys think about this, like this new structure that companies seem to be doing of buy our game and then we promise to make it better? Ladies first.
I hate it, but I'm still guilty of buying the games.
Buying 5 of them.
Yeah, I only two copies.
But really though, Shalene, what are your thoughts?
No, that's basically it.
Okay.
I think this is a terrible thing. I think I've thought for a long time. I don't even like day one patches. I think they should finish games before they release them.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm still guilty of buying them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. There's a historical precedence amongst consumers that I think that they are taking advantage of and exploiting. When it comes to the beta, we should have been testing this beta in like May.
Yeah.
And
I'm so salty about the beta.
And when November rolled around, I should be able to walk into the game and be able to finish every single quest that's in the game without bugs, without flaws, nothing.
Yep, some of my quests are still bugged.
And like I did 2 really big and lots of fun, I might add, quests yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. And I couldn't finish either of them. And I had spent at least 2 hours on each of them. So I spent 2 hours going through a quest. I got almost to the end of it. Nothing happened. I was pissed. Because I was like, now I have to wait for them to fix it and then go through all of the stuff, and I'm not going to be surprised anymore because I already know what happens. And then I spent another 2 hours on a new quest. Same thing. Problems. I really worry whether or not the gaming industry is moving away from this, one-time release thing and going to this more like continual improvement model. That, granted, I think it's good that they have the opportunity to continually improve their games and make them better and add more content. But I don't want to pay $109 for that at the start. And
yeah, that's
like, it's just, I don't know. I think that I worry that they're really kind of exploiting their consumers here.
yeah. I mean, not even just Bethesda. I mean, let's put the blame where the blame is due, on us gamers. It is honestly our fault because we bought into the, for instance, like H1Z1 or DayZ, those type of like Steam games. That's where I really started to notice where it's like, hey, pay, spend $30 for early access to play our beta. And the game never freaking comes out. And then it started to happen where it's like, well, spend $20 to play it in alpha. And I'm like, well, when are we going to start paying $5 a month to watch someone code? Like,
well, the thing is we bought
up.
into Fallout 76 because they sold the game well.
Sure. Well, that, and we are, Bethesda's a bit different because we already have kind of faith in their pedigree of what they've done.
Which is ever more so heartbreaking in the fact that they've done this.
Sure.
Granted, I think what they're doing is great that we can play Fallout together.
Oh, sure.
But it really takes a hit on the company in the quality that they're putting out. I just let me put things into perspective. When Ark was in beta, I think that game was, what was it, like $39?
Yeah. Well, this was one of the examples I was talking about with someone, but go ahead.
So $39, when it was a full release, I think it was $59, but you could still pick it up on a sale here or there. I regret paying $109 for Fallout 76. I wish that I would have just got the vanilla copy. If I'd known it was going to be like this. So,
I mean, and you got to remember that game was an early release for like years?
It was in early release for years, and you know
it
what?
was at a lower price when it was in early access.
To be honest, it wasn't that buggy.
But that
even
was
in beta.
But that's what I mean. That's that whole buy it and trust us to improve it. And there was this whole thing of where, like, will Ark ever be fully like released? Like, there's perpetually early release games that just never come out, and yet still people are throwing money at it. And it's creeping into AAA, obviously with Fallout 76. But there's something to be said with the idea of it, where if you go into it thinking of, I'm investing in this game,
that's
into
exactly
what it will become. But the fear is, specifically with Fallout 76, it's already on archaic technology. What's gonna happen to the future of it? I mean, you kind of, Guild Wars 2, there's constantly beautiful updates come out for, but that game came out in 2012, and they're constantly improving the graphics. Destiny 2, Bungie is doing a bang up job in creating new content for that game and making it very, very worth your dollar. And so but it wasn't. So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah. I have a few theories around what Bethesda is trying to do. The first one is that I actually think Fallout 76 is one big social experiment.
Well, we know
like a Vault Tech experiment.
I honestly think that it is a government-funded social experiment.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
Have you? Well, this kind of makes sense, Shalene, because Canada just legalized weed, and now all of a sudden
it's not that kind of episode. But I do think that they're, I don't know. All the stars align when you think about social experiment and playing Fallout 76. And that they've controlled grievers, and they've given us all nuke codes. Just saying.
I think that Fallout 76 is basically buying them time.
Yeah, you may be right.
So they can work on, the things they want to work on without getting pestered too badly, by by the fan base that wants another Fallout.
I also think
yeah.
that they've seen the mountain of cash that PUBG has made.
Oh.
That PUBG has
They-
made.
they Shalene put
And they
into,
said, "Hey, I want to
shelf.
get in on this. Fortnite is making all this money. PUBG is making all this money. Sea of Thieves cashing in on it. We need to do this. We need to do this now because that's the business model that's working for the industry right now."
I always wonder.
Everything's always driven by money, right?
Yeah, but I often wonder, like, because anyone can, come up with grand conspiracy theories that all make sense. But I always wonder if the answer is much more simplistic than that, where it's like you have a contingent of devs in Bethesda who genuinely created a multiplayer Fallout because they just wanted to play Fallout with their friends. And they're like, yeah, let's put some money behind it and like put it out there and like put it as like, yeah, this is a little experiment we wanted to do. We just wanted to play Fallout with friends and we hope that you do too. And that's generally what it is at face value. But we're like, it's
sometimes
all
a cigar is just a cigar.
And then you get 3 Yahoos across North America talking about what theories around.
You get the subreddit who's just pulling them apart. And like I said, I bought into Fallout 76 knowing full well the game was going to be broken, and I'm trusting in Bethesda to make do in that regard. But it just made me think on the whole of all the games that we buy in early access and we're investing in. We're not buying the game, we're investing in the company.
That's a very good point.
If the company goes under before early access is done, well, we lose our money. We lost our investment,
So what if we just took the whole idea of official release out of the equation?
What do you mean?
And Bethesda just released Fallout 76, not in beta, not in official release. They just released Fallout 76. You pay X amount of dollars for the edition that you want, and you start with us at the beginning, and you stick with us through it. And that's what it is. I think people would be able to justify the money that they spend if they knew what they were going into. But there was all these like transient expectations of letters about betas and don't worry about it, it's going to be better. Like that's very misleading.
It's really hard to put any sort of stock in a company that you have no control over, or you just have to trust. It's hard to do that.
I don't know. Just I think by putting the official release stamp on it, they've raised the expectations of their consumers.
Like I said, you can't put a lot of stock into marketing. It can go up, it can go down, and there's a lot of things that can go up and can go down. And speaking of that,
right,
waiting for the bumper?
That's my cue for the glorious GameStock bumper.
That was the segue.
Well, everyone, GameStock for this week. These are our stock prices as of 2:52 p.m. Mountain Time on November 16th. The prices are reported in US dollars. Sony is at $50.81, down nearly $3 since 2 weeks ago.
And I wonder if that's got something to do with the fact that they're like, we're not doing any showcases this year.
No, it was steadily going down before they started making these announcements.
That certainly can help.
Oof.
Microsoft is at $108.40, up $2.50. Nintendo is at $36, down $3.21. Now, Take-Two, parent company of Rockstar Games, $114.15, down almost $14 since our last podcast. Activision is at $50.94, down about $19, you guys. Almost $20.
Wow.
Reaching a 52-week low.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's bad. Time to buy. It's a buyer's market.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft is at $16.04, down $2.61. And EA is at $85.97, down $6.75 since 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
This stock also is at a 52-week low.
Ew.
Whoa.
No. Oh my.
Oh
Yikes,
my.
right?
By the way, Fournier and Fournier, jeez, M48 in
Micah.
chat says Micah says that conversation was fun to listen to while playing Fallout 76, and that sums up how Fallout 76 is to us. It's just
Yeah, we're all gonna play it
about it, but man, we're gonna keep playing it.
Yeah, we totally roasted it, but I can't wait to play it after the show.
You're right.
There's hypocrisy somewhere here. I'm sure. It's smacking me in the face, but I can't tell.
Church of hypocrisy. But yeah, that stocks. Only Microsoft is like.
That's because they bought Obsidian and
Maybe.
In Exile.
Yeah, that Microsoft event that they had in Mexico City was really, it was a good event. You know, it was. I think it was a good thing for Microsoft.
I heard it was lackluster though. They didn't really like say anything new.
Well, the announcement of the acquisition of Obsidian and In Exile was a pretty big deal.
Well,
I was disappointed in the Sea of Thieves announcement. It was just like a PvP thing.
No.
So.
Yeah. What can you do?
Joshy Neurotic in the chat says, didn't one of the U.S. markets drop by about 1,000 points this week alone?
Sure.
The stock market has been an utter disaster.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. That's why I don't look at it.
I know. You just...
It's like an open wound.
Yeah, just let it fester.
So, yeah.
Huh. Well, that's GameStock for you guys. Rick, why don't we talk about our gameplay? What have you been playing?
Well, I don't think it's been any secret that I've been playing Fallout 76 like a madman. Although one thing did happen.
Tell me about this Fallout 76.
What
is this? I have no idea. It must be a great
game.
game.
This one.
The new Bethesda early release. No, I've gameplay wise, just focusing on that for a second, I've genuinely been enjoying it. Yes, it's got some little problems like quests not being able to be finished, but on the whole, gameplay wise, lore wise, I think it's the most depressing Fallout story wise that I've ever played. And I've been more enamored with this storyline than any other Fallout game. Fallout 4, New Vegas, 3. The stories were always kind of like, it's there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But because this one requires you to listen and read, you're more, I think,
tuned
attentive.
in.
Yeah, you're more attentive to what's going on. And when you start putting pieces together of like, why there are no NPCs, and you're just like, and you're listening to all these holotapes of people who were, and you think of the disaster and the tragedy and the sadness that surrounds these people trying to survive while you are all comfy cozy down in a control vault. And it just makes everything feel heavy. Speaking of heavy, I feel like this game is a over-encumbered simulator.
My gosh, there are not enough card perk packs that I could stack together to allow me to carry another tin can.
But yeah, I mean, the lore in this one, I think I've said it before, but the reason we like Morrowind is the immersive world it's in. The journal, there's no quest waypoint markers. It's just like, go to this place, it's highlighted in red so you know it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to find it yourself. And then Oblivion, where like you could walk into a cave, fall down a hole, then all of a sudden you're in an alien ruin, and you're just like, whoa. And then Skyrim didn't really have any of that sort of same world immersiveness, and Fallout 3 had all those little mystery things, just like I don't know, just like the one vault jumpsuit where the guys, like the raiders, are like, burn this vault jumpsuit, it's cursed, the puppeteer guy. And like just little mysteries and little things like that. And because there's no dialogue options, no NPCs to write and do voice acting for, they were able to put more of that time into creating this world via just the world.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all these little mysteries. The porta potty with the button in the back.
What? I still don't know what it means.
That out yet?
I have no idea. There's like cables going down in the back, and I'm like, I wonder if it leads to somewhere around here, and so just things like that, those little moments. And so I've been really enjoying that aspect of the game. I did have one moment where I was like, I don't want to play because this pissed me off. I booted in and I was down south gathering lead and stuff for ammo making, and I went to go fast travel back to my camp, and my camp was gone. Where did it go?
Oh no! Maybe
I guess someone
away.
I guess someone built there. So I logged into a whole new world, and my camp, alas, was not there. And so I set up my camp in the original location, and it put everything in blueprinted, but as at a component level. So like one foundation with like a couple chairs on it. So it was like a Lego set of which I
Oh
didn't.
man.
Oh.
And that's when I realized, as soon as you build a house and you're happy with it, blueprint the crap out of that thing. It's
Yeah.
a whole different thing. So that way, if someone does build in your area and your camp disappears, you can just quickly put it back.
I did
salvaged-
find that interesting. Like you can't just like pick up your camp.
No, but if you blueprint it, see, that's the thing. If you blueprint your entire house, then you can just pick up and set it down wherever. But if you just pick up your camp, it will put everything in it. It'll store it, but at a component level, and
But
then it's a chaotic nightmare.
You can actually go up to the camp though and go pick up. Right? You just walk away from it.
Yeah, you just walk away. You can't pick it up. It stays
it
wherever
just
you
seems
are.
so strange to me.
It does, but it does until you start building a house, and then you're like, oh, this is a house. You wouldn't just pick your house up and move it with you across the country.
True.
But if you're living like a nomadic kind of lifestyle, you can just leave the little camp set up wherever and store all the little components if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could do like me and just leave them out for other people to use.
Yeah.
Also, little interesting feature: if you build like a water tank, like a water purification thing, you can actually build keys to lock it. So if people come by to like unlock it, it's literally a lockpick mini game to get into your purified water.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and you can set the level of the lock to like 0, 1, 2, and 3. I just let people come and take as they need. Free water. But anyway, enough of that. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I realized that I have super mutant Mungo hands when it comes to controllers.
Right.
Hate controllers. I can't use them. I had to turn the auto. I set the auto aim to as wide as I could possibly get. So like if I'm like, if there's a guy 10 feet to the right and I'm aiming straight on, it'll just snap to him because I can't aim.
Oh man.
So for those of you used to the controller, I'm pretty sure that everyone's down with how this game controls. But I feel like, Shalene, with The Last of Us, how you were saying the scariest and hardest enemy is the controls for the game. I feel it's the same way for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Those controls are like straight out of 2008.
I've accidentally set my camp up like 3 or 4 times trying to shoot something. Like I'll like try to shoot something and like try to pull up the varmint rifle and hit the wrong buttons, and all of a sudden it goes to a cutscene. I'm like, what did I just do? Mm-hmm. And there he is sitting at a fire, poking it with a stick because I set up the camp. And the deer at this point has just scampered off. I'm like, come on, the game has this really interesting pacing where you have these missions that are really fun, very well written. The very well written storylines. The characters are very funny at times and cool. And then like right after, it's like a water ride. You know what I mean? You have this anticipation, and then you have like going down the slope, and it's splash, woo, and then like it's over, and then there's just very calm drifting around in the lazy river, and it's kind of how this game is. The missions are fun and high paced. All of a sudden it lets you out, and you're just like to a screeching halt where like a deer scampers on, birds flutter away, and it's just a very weird dichotomy of pacing. And I kind of like it, but there's sometimes where it's just like I'm bored,
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be continuing to play that here whenever I can pry the controller away from my wife's hands from playing Spyro.
How's she liking Spyro?
The first day she beat Spyro 1 at 120. She 120% of the game the first day.
Wow.
So I think she likes it. She skipped 2 and went right to 3. So she's playing through that one. But yeah. So that was my gameplay. Just Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout. What about you, Vendor? And are you muted?
Vendor, you're muted. Still muted.
This is awesome.
Oh man, guys, I need a sneeze button. Am I still muted?
No, you're fine now. I need to send you my cough drop. I have a cough button. Woo! That I hit whenever I need. So, woo!
I don't really know what to say now. Red Dead Redemption.
Go ahead and talk about your gameplay.
I do stop it. I do want to. I do want to play. I do want to play that series. I definitely want to play that series, guys. I played Fallout New California, the New California mod for Fallout New Vegas. It's fantastic. It is just the creme de la creme of the Fallout New Vegas that I've always wanted a remake of. It's so good. I don't really want to go into details because I feel like I might spoil it, but should I just like talk about it?
Well, I'm never gonna play it.
Really?
I played part of it. New California was once called Project Brazil.
And it like didn't work past the initial beginning of it.
Yeah, you would get like halfway through and then it would just like die.
No, I would get halfway like through the beginning instance and then it would just so,
well,
again,
it's pretty fantastic. I had a little issues loading it in because I've never loaded in a Fallout mod before. So I you're going to love this. When I transferred the files, I missed some of the textures.
Ooh.
And so like I'd be walking along and then I'd like fall through this invisible square in the floor. Fall through this invisible square in the floor and end up outside in like some forest. It was weird. But it's actually pretty good. It was really good. So you start in this vault. And you can take on a different role, whether or not you want to be a scientist or sort of like a badass, or a badass scientist, which is the role that I took. But you got to hack the system and like get it working again for Dr. So-and-so. And then you go back home to sleep after your first day of work and all hell breaks loose. You wake up to this giant explosion in your house and like your roommates are dead. They're all shredded to parts and like everybody's in chaos screaming their heads off. And it turns out that the Enclave has infiltrated the vault. And so you have to battle the Enclave and you got to like leave your friends behind. They end up dying, which is really sad. But I made it out of the vault. I played it a little bit more. I streamed the first part of it and then I played a little bit off air. And I made it outside of the vault. And now I've taken up hold in this little town where I just kind of have to like partner up with this person and move on to the next step. I left the game being held up in my little trailer by raiders. And they're like talking on the megaphone from the outside. Hey, you, we know you're in there. Come out with your hands up. We're not going to hurt you. We don't want to kill you or something like that. And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm excited to keep playing it. Fallout 76, however, took over my life. It's definitely has taken over my life. I do like it. I love playing it with you guys. I love playing it with everybody that I've played with. I also love soloing it. And I found that I can't really get immersed into the lore of the game without playing it by myself.
Yes. Yeah. That's
so that's definitely a thing. Because when you're with a team and you can kind of do the side quests, but the reading on the terminals is just because there's no NPCs. It's so lengthy. And there's only one terminal, so everybody's queuing up behind the terminal to do all the readings, to be able to do the missions. And so I don't think that they really thought about that too well. But I tried to do the Mistress of Mystery quest, which is just fantastic. It's so good. I hope that they fix it so that I can go back and actually finish it. And I won't spoil it for you guys, but the Mistress of Mystery, it's yeah. There's some good musings from the previous Fallout in there. So
oh, cool.
Yeah. And what other quests did I do? Jess and I went to the amusement park where they have the roller coaster.
I like the amusement park.
Did you guys
Jess
do
and I
that
went
quest?
there during the beta. We didn't do a quest though.
It's
haven't been
so
there yet.
good. There's this quest and you have to go around and like test all the equipment.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's really good. I won't spoil it, but it's pretty entertaining. Yeah, I really enjoy Fallout 76 despite all of its bugs. I think I wouldn't be as miffed as I am about the bugs if it didn't affect a quest line. But because it affects the quest lines, that really affects my ability to play the game and actually enjoy it. But for the meantime, playing with people is great. I'm excited to play it again. And I love picture mode. I've been taking I have so many pictures, you guys. My hard drive's like full of pictures. Just have thousands of pictures.
Photo mode is so good.
I did some shopping in the Atomic Shop. I bought some scrubs.
Of course you did.
Yeah. So don't worry, you guys. I've got all your medical needs out in the wasteland. But really, in reality, you guys are always the one healing me, so.
No.
Not at all.
I've been playing some Ark. The bare minimum to keep my dinos alive. Because, Jess was on holidays, so I was, house sitting for her, and Zapu just got back from, he was away for a month, so now he's back on. We've got Archin. Our internet mom, Wendy, has joined the server, although we actually haven't seen her in action, so I'm not sure if she's on yet, but the last update to Ark broke everything.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they pushed this update, and I think it was like they had launched the Extinction DLC, which looks really good, by the way. I'm excited to play it. Rick, you would probably really like it. And then it like broke everything, and it even broke the server. Like I had to like do some extra footwork, and people were having trouble signing in, but I think it's okay now. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it was funny. Jess and I, we had decided to schedule a play date last night. And we were going to hop on Ark and like, just chill and do some stuff. Well, I was on Ark, and then she comes on and she's like, oh, I'm just reading the Fallout 76 guide. And I'm like, oh, interesting. What does it say? And she's telling me some things about the factions. And then she was like, oh, I just want to test this thing out in the menu. And then I was like, oh, well, do you need help?
This Fallout 76 guide?
Yeah, that monster of a textbook. I like that it's hardcover. That's real nice. Also, Shalene, did you get your
used as a weapon?
Shalene, did you get your cookbook?
I did. I can't reach it. It's in the room, but it's not within reach of the desk.
Oh, I am so excited for the cookbook. Well, we'll get to that in the next episode of That Fallout Show. Anyways, so she's like mucking around in the menu for Fallout 76, and I'm like helping her test things. I had exited my Ark game. I started up the launcher. I was in the main menu. And then suddenly, bam, we're in the game. I'm building a new base. We're going on all these quests. And then Hobbit joined us. And it's like, so it totally took over the Ark evening. Unintentional. But I was up till 11 o'clock playing Fallout 76. As were you, Shalene.
Yes, as was I.
So that's Fallout 76 and Ark. The Council. Now we need to talk about the Council.
Oh,
so, as you guys know, Shalene and I have completed episode 1 of the Council. We started episode 2, and we got about, what would you say, halfway through?
I think more than halfway.
I want to say that I'm not as shocked with this episode quite yet as the first one, but I will say that we haven't got all the way through it, so I still kind of got to give it a chance. But I have to show you guys.
They kind of pulled a little bait and switch on us with the ending of episode 1.
I gotta show you guys what happened to Shalene and I when we were playing the Council.
Oh my goodness,
Shalene, I don't know if you can see this.
I saw. Oh, I can't believe it.
I'm just gonna make it bigger so Shalene can see it.
I'm ready.
I hope this.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. You probably can't.
We can. Oh no.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
I'm just gonna pop ahead here for a second.
It doesn't matter.
I tried to find the right
Third Crusade.
point in the.
It's titled Winter Before the.
Oh no.
Little back.
Like dies.
Just let it play out.
Speak to the bird.
Feed it the chocolate.
All right, that's enough of that.
Oh crap.
If I go on talking to a minor bird, I'll end up going crazy.
No. Go back talking to the bird.
A minor bird.
So we were trying to get this. Oh no!
What have I done?
I
Looks
told
like I killed
you.
him. Oh shit! I better not hang around.
Oh man,
I
Shalene.
can't believe we killed the bird. I'm so sorry.
Somebody wanted to feed it.
I'm so sorry. The Archon says chocolate kills parrots. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
So Shalene and I were playing the council, and that happened. That was the highlight of episode 2 so far for me.
You had to bring that back up.
I
Yes.
hope this is your Maisie moment.
Yes, I did.
Oh, poor the bird, though. I didn't mean to kill the bird.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, okay, so the thing was, we were in this like main, Lord Mortimer's main office or chamber or whatever. And there was this like passcode thing on the wall, and we had to figure out the passcode. And we had been scouring through all the paintings in the room, looking through the books, putting in dates, and nothing was working. And we thought, well, why don't we talk to the bird? But then we ended up feeding it chocolate and it died. Which actually, coincidentally, you were supposed to talk to the bird to be able to get the password. And Cyber Red Panda, who's in the chat with us, actually was like, why don't you try this? And it magically worked. And they were like, yeah, it was the bird. You needed the bird to get in.
And
So
right now in chat, Cyber is saying you should have fed it the berries. We did feed it the berries, and then we fed it the chocolate.
yeah, we fed it the berries and
I
nothing
just wanted
happened.
to feed it all the snacks. I liked the bird, and I wanted to feed it snacks.
I totally wasn't expecting that to happen. Like, because before that, you heard me say, like, watch, we feed it something and it dies. Not expecting that to happen at all, and it totally happened. So
And it just dropped to the bottom of the cage
like a sack of
rock.
hammers.
Oh, it was terrible.
Oh, man.
I hate you so much sometimes.
That's Rockin' Robin for you. Anyways, the council's really good. I'm really excited to play the rest of the episode with you, with all you guys. And that will be on Sunday, I hope. Yes?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's my gameplay. What have you been playing, Shalene?
Okay, well, I am really last podcast we talked about Pokemon Go's Adventure Sync mode that links your fitness tracker to your Pokemon Go, and I'm really enjoying that. It's been really motivating to me to take a few extra steps when I wouldn't necessarily have to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a really cool thing. I'll think, you know, I only need a little bit more. I only need a little bit more to hatch this egg. And so I walk a few extra steps and hatch Pokemon eggs. It's been really fun. I like that feature.
So what if you synced it to? What device do you have?
I have a Fitbit.
Okay.
Yeah, it has I don't think I can angle my wrist where you can see it, but I have like a Pip-Boy face on it. Let me see if I can get it to.
I got that too on my Apple Watch, except right now it's just a mini logo because, you know.
Yeah, but it's just a Fitbit.
What, Rick?
I was gonna no earlier. I likened Fallout 76 and Bethesda in general to owning a Mini. It's impractical. You know it's gonna break, and the check engine light will always be on. And but yeah, you just love it anyway.
I love my Mini. I just bought this Mini. It's like brand new, 2019. The check engine light came on in September for like 2 weeks, and then it went off, and I've never figured out why it came on in the first place.
So anyway,
Fantastic.
Anyways, sorry, Shalene.
The last time that I had to go to a conference for work, the hotel was next to a Mini dealership, and I was like, I should buy one just to match.
Oh,
I'll have one. I'm still playing the Evil George Washington DLC for Assassin's Creed 3. I play like an hour a week.
jeez.
And it's so good. It's so good, guys. Like, it's some of my favorite Assassin's Creed ever. I didn't know how much I wanted magical powers to exist in Assassin's Creed until I played this game.
so I have a question. How does this George Washington pair up in comparison with the George Washington that's in the council?
I was gonna
The
say
council has a much superior version of George Washington.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love it.
So which one came first?
Assassin's Creed 3
Mm-hmm.
existed long before the council. Evil George Washington is like not enjoyable. Like it makes me sad. but the council's George Washington, like the jury is out. We don't know if he's our ally. Could he be secretly our enemy? We don't know. And when in your intro that you put together, when George Washington's face appears, that intro,
Shalene dies every time.
it slays me. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, still having a ton of fun with that. So my goal to eventually catch up on Assassin's Creed games is slowly progressing, very slowly. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I got out of the snow. The first 40 minutes or so is snow, and that was all I had time to play last time. Guys, this past month has been just like not a good
Yeah,
month.
November is always a bad month.
It's been rough. I haven't had enough time to really exist. It's been rough. I haven't slept. I don't remember. Like it's been bad. But I did manage to get past the snowy part of Red Dead Redemption. I've played a couple of hours now. So still not like a ton, but probably maybe 3 or 4 hours. Maybe a little more than that. Probably not more than 6 though. So I've played some Red Dead Redemption. I like it. The controls are regrettable.
Oh boy.
I was pretty shocked that it felt like playing GTA 4.
Oh, yeah.
It's there are a lot of games that have done a much better job with the controls, and I feel like there's no excuse for that. But that said, the world is vibrant and lovely and detailed, and I can already see the consequences of your choices in this game are real and unexpected, and it's really cool. Really cool. I do find that it's super easy, and that's kind of surprising. I don't know if it's just because I'm early on, but the first few missions I've done have been just like super easy.
Yeah. Well, try some of the challenges out and see how that works out for you.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely gonna spend more time with it, but Fallout 76, you guys. Fallout 76 happened. It's already ruining my life. I stayed up way too late last night playing Fallout 76. Yeah, like the first 2 nights I didn't have time to sleep, and then last night I was playing Fallout 76 instead of sleeping. And also instead of writing the show.
Oh, that's okay.
We're allowed to have breaks.
I think you're allowed. Yeah.
But
you're enjoying it?
Oh, I am. I really am. I played a whole bunch of solo on my Xbox last night. It was really good. I found though that I've sort of created a mini game about finding safe places to store my character. Because this game, you can't pause it. And I don't really have the sort of life where you can just play for hours at a time. I have to play a while, and then I have to do something else, and then I have to come back to it. So like I'll crouch my character and hide her in a bush or under a bridge, or because I don't want to die.
Right.
So I found that there's like this built-in mini game of trying to hide my character. I am loving the I'm sorry, I'm just distracted. I'm loving the story. I'm loving all the holotapes. I haven't really had any problems with other players. I've had to mute a few people because they just I don't know if they don't realize that proximity chat is a thing. That's the one. Or they'll just be chatting with the people that are in the room with them, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna mute this fellow.
Yeah.
I did have somebody follow me for a while. He just wanted to be friends, but I just didn't want to be friends. So I ignored him, and I feel a little guilty about that still. But I'm enjoying Fallout 76 a lot. The radio station is really, really good. And I've had a really good solo experience on my Xbox character.
Mhm.
Something that's important to note is that when I booted up my Xbox version of the game, it did unlock like 6 achievements that I had earned during the beta.
Ah.
Oh, I really like that stuff is carried over from the beta.
Mhm.
I feel
It
like
didn't,
that, they're kind of making up for that. But
Mhm. It didn't unlock the achievement for exiting the vault, but it unlocked the ones for like craft something and
Why would they not have
I don't know why the vault one didn't unlock, but it
the
didn't.
crafting is real tough. Like I'm level 27 or 29 or something, and I
Mhm.
still can't make like stim packs.
Yeah.
It's-
know.
Yeah.
It's
You got-
tough.
You got to build your. I mean, it's more RPG than some of the other ones are. You got to build to what you want your character to do, and that's a tough one. It's a different concept for I
Yeah.
think a Fallout game.
And
I'm
getting the pieces for your camp are like you don't just earn them, you have to find a plan.
Yep.
So that's real tough.
I'm thinking about the game like all the time that I'm not playing the game. I was at work today and I was in a meeting and I was talking with some of my guys about I was talking to them about, being prepared for the winter. And I actually used the phrase inventory management.
Jeez, vendor. I thought, Shalene, I thought you were going to say that you were sitting there and someone was talking, and then all of a sudden in your head, wouldn't it be nice if we were all like you just daydream off.
Oh man, I still can't believe they got the rights to that.
I know.
They must have
The
paid a
Beach Boys.
pretty penny.
The Beach
That was a
Boys,
really
yeah.
expensive trailer to make.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm enjoying 76. We're gonna play it as soon as we end the show.
Yes.
I decided to install Deltarune. Do you guys know what Deltarune is?
Yeah,
I've
no.
heard one of my friends is playing that right now. Tell me more.
I don't know a ton about it yet. What I do know is that it is sort of somehow connected to Undertale, which was an indie darling that came out in 2015. I played it. I loved it. Undertale is one of those games that the less you know, the better your experience is going to be. So I'm
Oh.
going into Deltarune kind of blind. I was installing it like minutes before we went live with the show. And the license agreement popped up and it said, it was just one line, the license agreement. And it said, you accept everything that will happen from now on. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. So wait for a
Heavens.
report on that in a fortnight.
Nice.
That's amazing. So that's all your gameplay?
That's it.
Awesome.
I wanted to pop real quick and talk about Red Dead, and you saying the consequences. I forgot about this, but there's one person that you can talk with as kind of like your therapeutic person in the camp. And I walked up and said hi to her, and she's like, "Do you want to chat for a while?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And she's like, "You seem upset. Like, how's it going, Arthur?" And he goes, "Well, I've been killing animals for no good reason." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess if you
Oh.
collect the pelts and don't take the animal, then like that's a bad thing." I didn't know. I was just collecting pelts. And he goes, "And I killed a lot of innocent folk. Don't know why." I am a bad cowboy.
Oh, I love that you made him have a conscience there. That is so great.
And he's like, "I just get so angry about everything." And part of that was because I was going for the bandit challenges, and it's like rack up a $250 bounty in any state. So I'm like, let's just kill lawmen. So I mean, it's just, and then when you have these moments of like you talk to this lady and you're just like, "Oh, I'm so bad."
Some of the tone of Red Dead is really odd because they're sort of setting these guys up as being like not that bad, story wise. But then like you hear him talking about like, we're bad men. Like, well, not really. Like
they steal from other gangs and they definitely rob stagecoaches, but it seems like it's like that kind of bandit rule of no women, no children,
yeah.
and everything else goes. Like they don't want to hurt people because it brings too much heat. But if they have to, they will. But no women, no kids for the most part.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's very much like they're not murderers, really, but they
Yeah.
are. So
I
anyway.
feel like when they started making Red Dead 2, they set out to create Old West cowboy Trevor from GTA 5. But then they walked it back.
Probably.
But they had already committed too much to this outlaw path.
I do like the
So
outlaw
I
path,
think
though.
it kind of split the narrative.
Yeah. I still think it feels good.
That said, I'm only like 5 hours in.
Just out of the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, should we move on to our Gamestack challenge? Which is
Should we? Should we though?
no Gamestack
Nobody
challenge because we had
participated.
no entries. I was rolling into a joke there, but yeah. Last fortnight, we actually asked you guys to send us the worst game you ever played, and we had no entries. Bwah, 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 bwah. But I guess maybe the three of us could just, anecdotally quickly decide which was the worst game we ever played.
Observer.
It
was bad.
I don't even know Observer.
I'm going to have to fire up Steam to tell you because I can't remember the name of it. It was called Scrap Garden. That is the worst game I ever played. It's a game about robots, but it's actually terrible.
Oh gosh. The worst game I ever played. The one that really sticks out in my head was Bomberman 64.
That was a bad one.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oof. Well, that's Gamestack Challenge for you. Shall we move into our listener emails?
Let's do.
All right. Should do you guys want me to take the first one or?
I'll take the first one. I edited it.
Okay.
It was a lot longer.
Oh, okay.
So it would have been like a full 2 pages. So anyway, it says, "Hey all, I'm so happy to finally be writing you guys. I listen to you guys every single week on my Google Home, and I've never been able to watch you all live. I actually had a quick question for you guys. What do you guys think of all the backlash against Fallout 76? First, there's the broken PvP system. For a game that, in quotes, encourages PvP, it makes it incredibly hard to PvP because PvP isn't fully active until the first confirms the duel. Not only this, but the quests seem like they're all just fetch quests and escort missions. While this is nothing new to Fallout, we had interesting and funny characters to motivate us. How motivating can robots, vendor, holotapes, and terminals be? Additionally, unless you've already had friends to play with, it's incredibly hard to team up with someone else. The game is not that difficult, and due to the level caps on weaponry, what's the incentive for taking on high-level missions and for teaming up with others when you only be splitting the loot, and then you won't even be able to use most of it if it's a quest above your level and gives you weapons above your level. I'm sure the game is fun with friends, but so is the room. A lot of things can be fun with friends, but they still have problems. Just wanted to get your input on the backlash. I know many have been, I know this may have been better for that Fallout show, but you guys talked about Fallout 76 last fortnight in Gamestack, so maybe it's okay, hopefully. And I really just wanted to write in for this week. Keep up the great work, guys. I love listening to you all, Andrew. He brings up some really good pointers. This definitely is not a game that encourages, I'll give my ideas real quick. But it's a game that definitely doesn't encourage PvP. It's just kind of there. There's a couple quests that I've read where like you can do some PvP stuff, but it's not really anything to write home about. And also there's the hunt/hunted radio that kind of initiates a PvP mission where one person becomes wanted and the other guys get it. But
I accidentally turned that on.
You can reject quests by highlighting it and hitting R, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe if I reject
a week ago.
If I reject the Mistress of Mystery, will it allow me to start it again?
I'm sure it would. I don't
maybe
know.
That'll fix the bug.
And then to his point about the quests being fetch quests and escort missions, sure they are to some extent. But I still think the characters are interesting. I still think holotapes and terminals can be quite motivating depending on how they're written. Honestly.
Guys, if there was any Fallout video game that I would want, which has NPCs, I would want them to be Protectrons everywhere. And this is the game. They made it happen. I mean, I'm always complaining that they never have robot figurines in the Bethesda store. I am now satisfied. They made a whole game just of me. I can die now.
I actually feel guilty every time that I kill a Protectron.
I know, me too. I'm like, please don't let me shoot you.
the bar is red, you're gonna be dead.
I know. I usually just try to run away from them so I don't have to shoot them. Which, speaking about shoosting, and the PvP part,
Yeah.
the Canadian in me wants nothing to do with PvP. So I'm grateful that it doesn't work at all.
Well, you're lucky because it seems like no one else wants anything to do with PvP in the game.
Yeah, I have to say, every single person that I've encountered in the Wasteland comes up, big wave, walks off and does their own thing. Or
What does that say about the community? You
if
know?
I'm doing an event, yesterday I was doing an event, some guy came up and started helping me.
Yeah.
You know those
There's-
mole miners? Those mole miners,
Oh,
man? They're
yeah.
terrible.
Those are terrifying.
I was being accosted by like a dozen of them. This guy comes up, pop, 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 left and right. It was awesome. I was throwing grenades. He was throwing grenades. And then he waved and ran off, and we split and went our own ways. So,
And see that to me is amazing. I actually ran up to, because I have so much 308 ammo, I ran up to the Vault Fort 76 and I dropped 500 rounds on the floor.
Nice.
And
Made
there was
somebody's
actually,
day.
there's like a whole subreddit about high level characters going to the front entrance to the vault and dropping off goodies for noobs.
mhm.
It's been a thing happening. So it's less griefing that I see in the world and more people just like, here's some stuff to help you out along the way.
And that's why I think it's one big social experiment.
Anyway, and going on the level caps, that's definitely weird, but that's not untypical for a RPG online type of system like this. And so, yeah, knowing that you're going to take on high level missions to get high level gear that you can't use is one thing. That's fine. The problem is the storage capacity, and there's no point in keeping it. Might as well just wait.
Mhm.
I'm scrapping all these awesome weapons. It's terrible.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people that have hit level 50 saying the game's boring at that point because, one, they don't have people to go do end game content with, and then they kind of rush through. And that's the thing, this game is not a game to rush. Anyway, so what do you guys think about some of the stuff, like the PvP vendor? You kind of gave your insight on it, but like Shalene, what do you think about some of the stuff in the email?
Well, something that I'm hearing a lot is that the game isn't fun if you don't have friends. Like, you need to have friends to play. And I think that couldn't be more wrong.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of fun playing it as a single player experience.
Which is what you and I were most worried about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that that's not the case.
And it is sort of a different game when you're
Mhm.
playing alone than it is when you're playing with your friends. Because
Mhm.
when I'm with you guys, we're having zany antics. We're taking on monsters that are probably too high level for us, and we're doing silly things. But when I'm playing by myself, I'm a little more scared when I walk into this encampment full of scorched.
Terrified. I was terrified yesterday. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's scary by yourself.
And I'm a lot more absorbed in the holotapes and terminals
Mhm.
and thinking about the story and the lore. And guys, they've done some really special things with the environmental storytelling and the holotapes and the notes. Rick, you were talking about the Colonel character in Flatwoods. I think it was on that Fallout show. The young boy who was apologizing for being a bad kid.
Oh, yes.
Well, his story continues,
Oh.
and you can see him mature. And it's heartbreaking the whole way. It's amazing. I found a holotape last night that was a connection to a Fallout 3 DLC of all
Nice.
things.
Yeah. I like the callbacks to the other games. That's
And
really
that-
nice.
And that was the thing, is like, you find these holotapes of these people and you know what happens to them because
Mhm.
everyone's dead. And
Mhm.
you're getting to know dead people, and that's sad.
It really makes me want to go back and play the older games
Mm-hmm.
because you see what happens to them
Mhm.
in Fallout 76, and you want to kind of like go back and relive the good old days. But
I also think that a lot of these robot characters are really compelling. There are some of them that I'm very charmed by.
Mhm.
And I think that even though a lot of these human characters are in fact dead, they're still, interesting characters.
Oh, yeah. The Overseer.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the things that I think might fix the leveling issues with the items and not being able to use them is we need to be able to sell things for more than one bottle cap.
I hate
The
that.
economy is
That's
broken.
ridiculous.
It's totally broken. Like if I have a level 50 gun and I'm level 5, I should have the right to sell it for some decent caps. Maybe
Yeah,
like
it
20
costs
caps.
500 caps, and you can sell it for 1 cap.
Like, and I know that there's some perk cards that you can use to up your ability to bargain and barter more, but I don't know. I guess that's where the team thing comes in. They're really pushing that social perspective. But
Yeah.
anyways, cool email.
All right. Who wants to take the next one?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm a long-time listener, second-time emailer. I love the podcast and love how you read the listener emails. That form of feedback is just a great feeling that shows you really do care about us, the viewer/listener, and shows me that there are people like me out there that love gaming just as much as I do. I don't have any gamer friends IRL, and this goes back when I was growing up, as I come from a very sport-involved family and always felt like an outsider because sports just never appealed to me.
Mm-hmm.
When I met my wife, even as she didn't like to game, she knew I liked to game and how I use it to help me control my anxiety, and would sometimes watch and sometimes play with me as well. But like a lot of people I know, didn't really like it as much as I did. But as we got older and life got more busy, she would always make time for me to have that time to game. And that's how I know she is my forever player too. That's really
Mhm.
I would like to know, is this common for more people out there? Or do you guys have a similar story? Or would your like-minded partners and family members want to make a guest appearance on the show or share their stories? As I would love to know. I'm not the only one out there with a story like this. Thank you so much for all you do, Tommy C.
Well, first of all, I've been trying to get Shalene's mom on the show for like the last 9 months.
Yeah. Every
Just-
time, like,
Just throwing it out there.
She gets all bashful when I mention it.
man, every time some little anecdote pops in Discord about your mom, it's like one of the cutest and sweetest and most innocent things I've ever read.
It's like all the good in the
pineapple
world,
thing,
all the
like-
good in the world when we talk about Shalene's mom suddenly becomes concentrated in one little place. But really, I mean, and Shalene, I mean, the three of us, we've talked about this before. Gaming for us, it all has a personal piece to it.
Yeah.
We all do it because it's a part of our lives, and we identify as some of the characters in our games, and we live through those experiences. And some of the games that we've played have gotten us through some really difficult times.
Yeah.
And I think that is, that's across the board for anybody who plays video games. It's immersion, right?
Well, right. And like they were saying, having a partner that is a gamer too, I think I got really lucky in that, my wife throughout dating was a huge gamer. I mean, she, played games all through her childhood, like we did. And I got really lucky to meet her. And then a lot of our dating revolved around Guitar Hero or Gears of War and Halo. So yeah, it's very good. If you can find someone that has those interests and stuff like that, and he said, forever player twos. It's so good when you can find someone with the same interests as you, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. I know. I can really identify with when he says that he doesn't know a lot of people IRL who are gamers.
Yeah.
I live in an area where it's still there's a stigma against playing video games when you're a grown up, and yeah, I can definitely identify with that. I found people through this community, to identify with. And before I was hosting podcasts with you guys, I was listening to podcasts, and I felt like these people, I have things in common with these people on these podcasts. I'm not alone in being, someone who's a professional person living in the world and also being a gamer.
Yeah.
Those two things don't have to be mutually exclusive.
They don't. They don't.
And that's a lovely thing when you live somewhere where you don't have that feedback in real life, to have podcasts, reach out to a further community. Yeah. But I've never dated a gamer. But I can say that like my mom is only interested in games because I was, she cared about me and what I cared about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she ended up, learning that she loved Halo. It's so it's neat.
Yeah, I think we extend the definition of partner to family members, of course. Yeah.
Mhm.
My partner plays video games, not as much as I do. And we certainly have different taste in games, but we've played games together before. Fun Run, we've sunk countless hours into Fun Run on our phones to the point where the battery goes dead. And it's been a lot of fun. The Sims, we used to play The Sims a lot together too. And just the other day we were talking about like when we get our own place, we're going to have like our own little like gaming room with like double desks. And so, yeah, it's a nice feeling to share the sentiment. But I think, outside of that, there's not a lot of people that I know that play video games.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Which brings me here,
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, I feel super lucky, to have met you guys and to have such great friends, to share games with.
Shalene, why don't you take the next email as well?
Okay. Dear Rick, Shalene, and Vendertron, like many other listeners, I discovered your amazing shows on or off the rails because of my love of all things Fallout. But I just wanted to say how much I enjoy the Gamestack podcast, which has broadened out my interest and appreciation of games that I'd never normally choose to play. The Life is Strange, and particularly the latest Young and the Council streams, are just so enjoyable.
Yes.
I really appreciate the time and effort you guys put into creating such great content. I also have a question. I'm getting my kids a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. I'm probably more excited than they will be. I've always been a PC gamer, though I have fond memories of GoldenEye on a friend's Nintendo 64. So I was just curious if you might have any tips for hidden gems in the world of Nintendo games. Thanks so much, Pip Benet.
I figured this was a perfect Shalene email.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone more qualified out of the three of us to answer this question than Shalene.
Very true.
Well, guys, I own a Switch and I adore my Switch, but I'm not sure that I've necessarily been playing any hidden gems. My favorite game on the Switch, of course, is Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is incredible. It's a very, very special game. Super Mario Odyssey, super fun. Really like Super Mario Odyssey. Minecraft, played some Minecraft on the Switch, very good. Let's see. Skyrim, I have Skyrim, and I have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which is a really great little game. There's some puzzling and some platforming, and it's really great. There are a lot of games that I've played on other platforms that are also available on Switch, though, that are pretty good. Like Alwa's Awakening is a game that's sort of a like a 16-bit platformer. It's really, really good game. And it's a good fit for the Switch. Owlboy is a good fit for the Switch as well. Let's see. Yeah, there are a lot of great games out there, but on my Switch, I'm mostly playing, the big ticket Nintendo titles.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart. Mario Kart is so good. Undertale is on the Switch now. We were talking about Deltarune earlier. Let me just have a look at what's on Switch.
I think it's really great that you're joining us in the Life is Strange and the Young and the Council episodes as well. It's always nice to have you in the chat with us, and nice to see. And the Let's Plays and the episodes that we do, that's another really nice sort of community-driven thing where, people come together with shared interests.
The World Ends With You. I played that on the DS. That's an incredible game. That's a really, really good game.
Cool. Awesome.
Is that the end of your list, Shalene?
Stardew!
Nope.
Stardew's on there.
Not done yet.
No.
Prison Architect! Prison Architect is really
We've been
good.
here for a while.
Oh, probably not for kids. Probably not for kids, though.
Prison Architect.
Shantae! The Shantae series. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Shantae Risky's Revenge. Those are on Switch. Those are really good. Those are fun little platformers, and like you play as a belly dancer who can turn into animals. It's so good.
That
sounds like a Star Trek
belly
Next
dancer,
Generation episode.
You fight people with your hair. Like Shantae has this fabulous purple ponytail and she flips it out.
I'm having flashbacks to Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Okay.
I played Fee on the Xbox One, and that's a very good game. It's not a 10, but it's like a solid 7.
Okay. Is that the end of your...
Probably.
Someone get the cane.
Yes, they're dragging me off the stage as we speak. I'm looking at the internet here. For kids. I was going to recommend LA Noire, but kids.
Yeah.
Right,
Valiant
because this
Hearts?
is a gift. This is a gift
Valiant
for the
Hearts
kids.
is really good. Get Valiant Hearts for your kids.
Cool. Well, I think if you can find a Nintendo game, you could certainly find it in that list.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, that's a show. Any plugs or announcements?
I have one.
Absolutely.
It's called the Public Etiquette Regarding Video Games, or PERV. And I wanted to point this out that I did tag in our Discord, for everyone in our Discord, with games like No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76. A lot of us like to game together, and a lot of us like to game solo. So when it comes to that, just make sure that you ask that, if you see someone online, you've played with them before, just like ask them, hey man, you want to party up? You want to hang out? You want to play together? Ask them first before just like busting through the door. Like, hey man, can I play? And just like ask first.
Yeah, just send us a message in Discord or on Twitter. One of the things that the three of us have kind of been throwing ideas around is eventually to start planning, community events and things down the road. But
I want to point out real quick too. Right now, there are a couple voice channels in our stack: No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves, and Fallout 76, PC, PS4, and Xbox. And those are open to anyone to pop into. If you're in one of those rooms, it's like saying, hey, I would like to game with you. So, if you're in there, know that it's public, watch what you say, but anyone can pop in. And actually, me and Joseph Tao and Shalene, we were all in the Fallout 76 voice channel, and someone popped in for the first time. By the way, I wanted to say this too. Someone popped in, and it was the Lonely Burrito. And
what a good name, by the way, the Lonely Burrito.
Playing with him, for a while. But it was funny because when he popped in, he's like, oh, I'm kind of starstruck a little bit. And very quickly, I could hear in his voice that he realized how boring we actually were in real life. And but no, we actually ended up playing with him. And it was just one of those moments where it's like, we were all in the public space. And he's like, hey, do you want to, party up? And we all did. So just remember that for etiquette, because somebody might be soloing in like Sea of Thieves or something, and you just don't want to.
Yeah, and on the same side of the coin, if
don't be afraid to ask too.
Don't be afraid to ask, but also don't be offended if somebody asks me to play a game with them and I really am just going to play solo, or I have plans.
Oh, lazy burrito, not lonely.
Don't be offended if I say no. It's not, don't take it personal. There will always be other times, but yeah.
And
that said, I am excited to play Fallout 76. I keep getting messages on Twitter like, I'm so excited to play with you. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
I feel like I need to apologize to the community at large for not being very available on Twitter lately, but this week has been like bonkers.
Yes.
I've worked a lot, and I haven't been really, really keeping up with the mentions, and there have been many of them with the Fallout launch. So I apologize. I'm sorry, guys.
So yeah, just before you game, think PERV, Public Etiquette Regarding Video Games.
That's the worst acronym ever. That Fallout show next Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch us for another juicy episode. We'll be talking all things Fallout, but mostly Fallout 76. Rick, are you covering lore?
Yes. Yeah.
So we will bring you some much anticipated lore. If you would like to hear your lovely emails and messages on the show like the last 3 listeners, you can send us an email at info@wejustlovegames.com, info@wejustlovegames.com. You can find us on Twitter at We Just Love Games. You can find Shalene at Shalene L, Rick at Rick McVick, and myself, Vendertron, at VendertronN. We also have a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/We Just Love Games, and you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/We Just Love Games. We have a Discord open to the public. You can send us a message. We'll make sure you get the link. I believe that you can also find the link on our Twitter page. Is that correct, guys? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's posted there. The Discord community is the most active community. Every day, everybody's saying good morning, and we're all hearing each other's stories throughout the week of the trash fires that we have to deal with in our own personal lives. And so we are all in this together. There is a live recording time at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Twitch.
6:30. I never changed that.
6:30
We
p.m.
changed
Mountain
the
Time.
time like months ago. I never changed the notes.
Yeah, I should know that. 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. Don't forget to like and subscribe the show and host us when you're here live. We are on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, as well as coming. We're also on iHeartRadio, and I think we're coming eventually to Google Alexa. But we're looking forward.
We will hopefully be coming to Alexa.
Send us all the subscriptions and the wonderful reviews, 5-star review shoutouts. Thank you guys for listening. Shalene, last words.
By clicking play on this podcast, you accept everything that will happen from now on.
Good night, guys.